Hello YouTube, I am back with part 2 of the lost Michelangelo creation of Adam. Just wanted to share some new discoveries, some things that I found out about this painting, and also some hidden images in the painting. First, I'd like to thank everybody for their helpful advice that you've given me through your emails and responses. Thanks a lot for that. So let's start off by talking about how Michelangelo created or painted Adam in this painting here. If you look, he said it seems as if Adam is created on top of a high mountain with flowing water. If you look in this area here, the way Michelangelo painted this, you see the strokes as if it's water coming down the hill, or the mountain, if you will. So we're going to look at this dark opening in the sky. I'm going to refer to it as the cosmic womb, right over in here. If you follow this down, it stops at Adam's finger here. And on the edge of it, you see an egg-shaped object right here. Right there. I'm going to refer to that as the cosmic egg. Now, normally with the cosmic egg, there's a snake associated with it. If you look in this area here, it appears to be a snake head right here with his tongue lashing out. It is facing the egg. Now, if you follow the line from the bottom of the egg coming down, it's like a white substance coming out of it. And that gets absorbed into the ground that you see here. So we're going to look again. Cosmic egg coming down. Follow that line. White substance gets absorbed into the ground. And the ground seems to turn dark in this area. Right around here. Even around the foot of Adam. Over in this area also. So maybe that's how Adam is created, via the cosmic womb, cosmic egg type of creation theory. And then God floats over with his angels that you see here and gives Adam the divine spark of life, which you see right here. This is the actual spark. Fingers nearly touching. The spark is right there. Now let's talk about God with all of these angels. God certainly doesn't need all these angels to create Adam. So why are they with God? Well, let's take a look at them. If you see how Michelangelo painted them, he has these that are dark, even around here, kind of like mere shadows. Then you have some that are lighter, which are these, and then even lighter, which are these. So you have like 3 different intensities. Let's talk about these over here. You got this one, and these here we'll talk about. If you notice the expression on their face, they seem like angry or upset. Look at this one here. And look at this one here. It's like they're mad. Why? Michelangelo painted that like that because these angels found out that God was creating man in the image of himself. So they got jealous and mad about that. They figured that no man deserves to be as beautiful as God. So that's why they have that expression on their face. Now, we'll take a look at this one here. This one is a little lighter. We're going to figure out, well, no one really knows who she is. She's thought to be Eve. But Eve was created from one of Adam's ribs. God put Adam in a deep sleep, took one of his ribs, and created a woman, which he named Eve. That's why they named her woman, because she came from a man. So this could not be Eve because Eve is not an angel. So you probably say, well, if that's not Eve, who is she? Let's look at her facial features here. Long, narrow face. The long, narrow nose. Part down the middle of her hair. Very beautiful. Let's look at this picture I printed off of the internet. Same exact long, narrow face. Long, narrow nose. Part down the middle of her hair. Let's look at her again. Same exact face. Same exact face. Only difference is this one's carrying a baby. So who is she? She is the Virgin Mary. So then you're probably saying, well, if that's the Virgin Mary, where's baby Jesus? Well, let's look over here. See baby Jesus right here. They always draw up baby Jesus or paint baby Jesus as a chubby little baby, which you see in this painting also. Now, if you don't believe this is Jesus, take a look at the halo that's over his head. So Michelangelo put that there so you would see that this is baby Jesus. Now let's take this even further. Look at the connection that's going on here. You got Virgin Mary with her arm around baby Jesus. Baby Jesus is embracing Mary's leg. God has his arm around Virgin Mary, touching his son, baby Jesus. So God is creating like an inner circle type of thing right here. So the angels around the outer, we're going to call the outer circle of love, and this will be the inner circle of love. These are the most important to God because he miraculously impregnated Virgin Mary to have his son Jesus. Now, if you're still questioning about if this is Mary or not, let's take a look at this angel here. This one is looking down at something. Let's follow what see what she's looking at. We'll follow her eyes down, only to find a rabbit in Mary's lap. If you look here, you see the ears, the eye, and the head. You don't see the full rabbit, you just see the head of the rabbit. The rest is hidden by God's hip, but that's definitely a rabbit. Virgin Mary is associated with a rabbit, something to do with the reproduction system. So if you read up on it, you'll see that Virgin Mary is connected to the rabbit some type of way. Reproduction, I guess, have similarities. But you'll never see this in any other painting or print on the internet. This is one of a kind right here. Now, if you look here, the same angel next to him seems to be a tiger or lion head. Well, let's say a lion head right here in the painting. See that right here? Eyes, nose, head. The body seems to branch off this way. Look at the whole image. Once again, looks like a lion inside the painting. Now we're going to look at some hidden images that are here that I just recently discovered. Let's look over in this area here. If you look carefully, you see a dog here. Eye, nose, and the ears come up like this. The body with the tail is right here. You have to look good because it's kind of hidden in there. You got to focus your eyes. Over here is a larger dog. Eyes, nose is like the head area, and the legs kind of like come out like resting, is lying down. So you have to look good at to find it. That's it again. Point it out again. First dog, second dog. This is a small dog here. I hope you could see that. Image of the one dog, image of the second. These are hidden in the painting. Let's talk about this area here, the correction to Adam's leg. It almost seemed like Michelangelo used what they call a blind stylist to make his underdrawing. That's why you see the double foot here, kind of like the double leg. It seems as if you look here, from the ankle down was actually too short. So the new position, he lengthened that from here to here. That way he get more of the foot into the painting. See the old is shorter. Once again, this is the Stylist underdrawing that Michelangelo is known for using. Look at the genital area. You see the same line going across here. That's his underdrawing, and then he painted. Let's look at the dimensions of this painting, which is very important. I'm going to go from edge, right here of the painting, this edge here, which is 18 3/4 of an inch. If you times 18 3/4 of an inch by 10, no, I'm sorry, it's 18 15/16 of an inch. Let's check it again. 18 15/16. That's what it is. If you times that by 10, it comes out to 189.375 inches. Now we look at the height of this. We go from the edge down to this edge, which is just about 9 inches. And that's 90 inches times 10. So that's like exactly 10 times smaller than the ceiling. So this was painted, and then the ceiling was scaled up 10 times bigger. That's why you see that correction to the foot. This is a scale drawing. It had to be correct. Let's talk about this color, the color of this painting. If you notice, it's very dark and gloomy, and you see like the lightning coming down. This is all lightning coming from the ground, coming from the skies. This is from God's presence. It's like a force field. That's why that sky will not be bright, because how would you have a bright sky with this force field going on? Like I said, again, it looks like some type of lightning. Now I heard some comments saying the painting looks exact, but the colors are different. Well, let's talk about the colors for a little while. Sistine Chapel ceiling, as we all know, was painted on wet plaster, which is called fresco. And the pigment was just suspended in lime water, so you didn't need a binder for that. So once the plaster dried, it would absorb that pigment, and it would become one. You wouldn't be able to erase it or anything. It's part of the plaster. And then a couple days later or so, Michelangelo would go back and paint the eyes and tone down some of the colors with what they call a secco. So Michelangelo complained about paint dripping in his face and eyes from that ceiling. Now, could this be the paint here that Michelangelo complained about was dropping in his eyes? And in this area also? From that dark secco that he put up on that ceiling? Because if this was originally painted and that dripped on the paint, he would just probably work it into the art, to the image of the artwork itself. But he didn't know that was there. That's why it dried the way it did. Now, this is painted on a cream color paper, or vellum. It's very thick. I can't get the one to try to get a side view of this, but I can't pick it up. But it's a very thick paper or vellum, and it's beige or cream in color. If you look at all of Michelangelo's drawings, you'll see the same exact color of paper that he used. So that's why there is a difference, because the plaster on the ceiling was white. This is a cream color that you see here. So it's gray and cream. So the ceiling, I would have to say, would have had to originally be gray and white. And then this is a tempera, which is actually a different type of paint medium, which has a binder, being your egg yolk that you cut open, and you cut the sac of a yolk open, and what comes out, you mix your pigment with that. It is also said that Michelangelo painted like he sculpted. So let's take a look at a sculpture that I printed off of the internet of David. Take a look at David's hair. It's a bad quality copy, but just bear with me with that. If you see the curly hair that he has on this statue, it's the same curly hair that he has on a few of his angels. This one, for instance, and this one down here has the same curly hair. And if you look at David's ear, which you really can't see too good here, you got to look at it for yourself from the internet. It's going to be the same as Adam's ear and the same as God's ear. Now, if we look at this vertical neck muscle that you have here with the throat area pronounced, you come back to the painting, you look at Adam, he has the same exact vertical neck muscle with the throat area pronounced. Same with the chest area. If you look at the chest area, it's the same in the painting. If you look at the muscle of the stomach, even if you look at the side, how it comes down and bulges over here, off to the side here, you'll see that in the painting also. You see that right in this area. It's exact. It almost seems as if Michelangelo used the sculpture David to paint this. I'm going to take it a step further. Look at David's left hand. Look at how it's partially closed. Two fingers here touching, closed, these two are apart. Look at Adam's right hand. Same exact position. Two fingers closed, touching, these are slightly apart. Same exact position. Now if you look at David's right hand, it's oversized, big and powerful. Look at God's left hand, oversized, big and powerful. So again, it seems as if Michelangelo used the sculpture David to, as a guide, I should say, to create this painting here. That could be why Michelangelo paints like his sculptures. Even you look at the bulging veins in David. Look at the bulging veins in God's arm. Right here. Now if you think this could be a copy, or maybe copy from the ceiling through restoration, if you really think about it, the underdrawing is all covered up with paint. So how would you get up there and take dimensions of this when the underdrawing is covered? Some of these are mere shadows. It would be impossible to go up there and measure that. Look at that. That's all shadows. Where would you measure from? What would you measure to? Here's that rabbit again I'm going to show you. Again, these are shadows. This angel here again, this is actually her shoulder and arm area going up, looking over God's hand. Someone painted a face on this on the ceiling, but that wasn't intended to be a face. If you look here, that's actually her shoulder. Look at it good. She's looking over the arm of God down into the lap to see that rabbit. And like I said, the rabbit is associated with Virgin Mary, some with the reproduction system. So that's why Michelangelo put that rabbit there, so you can kind of solve that mystery, who she is. Look at those hidden dogs again. Just in case you didn't see that. That's one. That's the other one. Like I said, I hope you see this at home, but it's very difficult to see. I've had this thing for a couple of years, and I just now seen this in the painting. Yeah, one thing I almost forgot to mention is why Michelangelo painted this scene with God with all of these angels. This is very important in the creation process because God created man in the image of himself. So basically he wanted Adam to see this image of love, or circle of love, that God has right here, because he wanted this image instilled in Adam's mind. This was important because God wanted Adam to love, cherish, nurture, protect, reproduce, things of that nature. So that's why he wanted Adam to see this. So that's basically it. Until next time, take care all.